Hi church, I hope you're still keeping well and managing under the present circumstances. It seems a long time since we've all been together. I hope these few thoughts encourage you this morning. I wonder, have you ever been afraid? When we're young, when we're children, we might be afraid of the dark or afraid of certain animals like dogs or spiders. When we get older, our fears can change. We might be afraid to fail or afraid to try. Or we might be afraid of how things will turn out. We may be afraid of the future. The situations we are in may make us afraid because we have no control over them. Life can be full of challenges and tough decisions that make us afraid. Sometimes we're afraid to venture out or to try something new, often because we've experienced disappointment or failures in the past. There are many people in the Bible who had situations that made them afraid. But what brought them through their situation was when they were determined to believe God and his promises. One person in the Bible who had every reason to be afraid was a man called Joshua. He had a massive task in front of him. Firstly, he was taking over from one of the greatest leaders in the Old Testament, a man called Moses. Secondly, he had to take a group of just a few million people into a new land that God had promised them. Joshua could have felt completely scared and overwhelmed by the task in front of him. And these people had moaned and grumbled for a long time. Why should they now trust Joshua? But God was completely with Joshua because he told him he was. The first chapter of the book of Joshua in the Bible, God tells Joshua to be strong and courageous 3 times. Joshua 1 verse 9 says, "Have I not commanded you? Be strong, vigorous, and very courageous. Be not afraid, neither be dismayed, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go." God actually commands Joshua to be strong and courageous. What an encouraging verse. God is with us wherever we go, in whatever situation we are in. He is with us, and it's a great verse to keep reading over and over again. It's natural to be afraid or nervous or concerned. God had to tell Joshua 3 times to be strong and courageous in just one chapter. But what we can't do is let those feelings stop us or decide for us. We have to make the decision to be strong and courageous. And we can be strengthened by God and put our trust in him. We can determine to hold fast to God's command to be strong and courageous and to come out on top. Part of being strong and courageous means trusting God as our source of strength. We may not have all the answers to our fears, but God promises that when we turn to him, he will be with us. We can have peace knowing that God is on our side. Joshua still had to face the battles and the difficulties, but he did it knowing that God was with him and trusting that God would bring him through. Joshua was not facing his fears alone, and neither are we. We can take courage because God is with us always. The Bible also tells us that God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and love and self-control. It doesn't mean we won't ever feel afraid, but instead we can rise above the fear with the courage that God has given us. Though everything else changes, God never does. In one version of the Bible, there are 365 times that say fear not. One for every day of the year. That should encourage us. We might not have a massive task of leading people into a new land and facing armies of enemies. Our fears might seem quite small and insignificant to others. But God is interested, and today he says to you, be strong and courageous, for the Lord is with you wherever you go. God bless and have a great day.